guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today I've been working on a new worktop for the shop. This is just a new little worktop, probably going to be for a little portable cart, something I can move around the shop and work on other projects. But today I thought we'd talk about clamps, since they're very necessary for this. Mostly I'm going to be talking about clamps from Harbor Freight. Now, most of you might be tempted to pick up some clamps from Harbor Freight. They're very affordable, they seem to do the job, they look like the good ones, but I'm here to tell you that they are not. First, let's talk about these bar clamps. So, you might think, yeah, sure, this is a bar clamp. It looks great. It ratchets, it has a little clampy bit right there. You can put it on a piece of wood, tighten it down, it'll hold the wood together. But once you get bigger than a certain size, they bend. They bend really badly. So check this out. When I tighten this guy down, you can notice that the whole back kind of arches backwards. And that's not very reassuring. Sure, it holds the work, but you're never really sure how tight it's actually clamping. Now the shorter versions of this clamp are pretty good. Anything longer than this, they start to get a little flexy, but for smaller projects, they do their job. No real complaints right there. But we'll compare that to a proper quality clamp. So this guy is a Bessey. This is a cheaper Bessey, came with a multi-pack, but even this is miles better than this guy. And this only costs a couple bucks more. So firstly, you'll notice the ends. You'll notice that this is a lot thicker. And so I'm going to take a caliper out and we're going to measure that. This guy is sitting at what looks like 6 millimeters thick. And this guy is about 5 millimeters thick. So, extra millimeter on the Bessey versus the Harbor Freight. The other thing the Harbor Freight one has is this cutaway. They do that presumably to save some material. It keeps the clamp still pretty strong, but I'd rather have all the material when I buy my clamps. I don't know about you. Avoid these things, unless they're shorter than this. Now the next thing to talk about are going to be these clamps, these aluminum clamps. Now I've seen a lot of these on the internet from more reputable companies, and they're pretty expensive. The Harbor Freight ones, I think they run like 10, 15 bucks, something like that. And they seem like a good idea. But again, this is a very flexy clamp. You can see I can twist this pretty easily, but that's not really where its main problem comes from. So right here is what the little locking pin grabs into when you ratchet it, and that's what that's what it bears against. Now the problem is that's really thin, soft aluminum. So once you start putting any real pressure on to actually hold your boards together, it starts gouging away and deforms it like this. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it is dimpled down really bad. It'll flip it around, see if you can actually see from framing. Yeah, right there. You can see where it's all dimpled out and just looks pretty terrible. That and this mechanism binds up a little bit. Overall, very unhappy with these clamps. I am not sure how long this clamp is going to stay in my rotation. I'm going to use it until it breaks, and when it breaks I'll be sad because the chances are I probably won't have bought a clamp to replace it. Now, what you should get, I've got just these two, but I need to get more, are some proper pipe clamps. So this is a 3/4 inch size. They also make a 1/2 inch size. I haven't used the 1/2 inch, but I assume they're a little bit weaker. but overall, miles better than anything you're going to find at the Harbor Freight. This has some good clamping power. It's nice, it's solid. The only downside is the cost. Clamp head itself isn't too much. They run about 15 bucks, but the pipe is where it gets you. That's why I only have 2 of them. Basically, you gotta buy some black, like plumbing pipe, and this stuff runs about 30 bucks per section. I bought 1 section to make 2 clamps, but it's worked great for my usage. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and make good clamp decisions. I'll see you next time.